Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing two variations of a slide by from a really common position, which is going to be a collar tie. And a collar tie looks like this, just in case you haven't seen it before. Opponent's hand on the back of your head, your hand also on the back of the head. Right here. So now when you're in a collar tie, your opponent can be doing one of two things. They can either be pushing in with a lot of pressure, trying to get you moving, some stuff that is typically better to be doing from a collar tie, or something that you might see pretty often is you'll have an opponent who's just simply clamping down. And so here's what that looks like. When your opponent is just clamping down, it can be really tough to get them moving, to create space, and to get your offense going. So this first slide by I'm going to show is going to be from when they're clamping down. Let's angle this way. So again, you're just in this collar tie position. As the person who's trying to get offense going, you never want to be in this clamped down state. You almost always want to be pushing away just a little bit so you get your snaps going, arm passes, things like that. But let's say your opponent is one of your stronger guys and they're just here, they're really trying to clamp down. This slide by that I'm going to show works really well from when an opponent just is trying to close everything down. So you're going to have one leg forward, a staggered stance, which is typically the most common stance that you're going to want to have anyways. And what you're going to do, the very first step that you're going to do is you're going to take one step towards your opponent's lead foot here. And so it's a step in. So as you can see, my toes are pointing towards my opponent. And as I take that step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this free hand from the side that he's collar tying me, and I'm going to look down at the top of my wrist, kind of like you're checking the time. And I do both of these at the same time. Right here. Once I get to this part, I'm going to really focus on trying to drive my elbow into the back of his head, is the motion that you're trying to do. And at the same time, I'm going to be looking away. Right here, elbow driving into the back of the head. And once you're here, all you're going to do is pull your opponent through and take their back. And there's a variety of finishes you can use from here. You can start throwing your hooks in. You can do the normal lift and return. Any type of variation of mat returns you can do. So one more time, and remember, this is from when your opponent is clamping down hard. You're taking the step, you're checking your watch, you're looking away, and you're trying to pass your elbow into your opponent's head. Boom. Right here. Now this second slide by variation is going to be from when your opponent has a collar tie, but they're pushing into you and they're creating a little more space and they're trying to get their offense going. So you're going to have a little more space to work with. So again, instead of being clamped down, we're going to be typically more like forehead to forehead right here. And the overall motion is going to be pretty much the same. Let's turn this way. You're going to take that same instep towards your opponent. And the difference here is instead of coming down under my opponent's arm to check my watch, I'm going to come over my opponent's arm. And one thing to really to remember and to harp on this specific detail, elbow high. It's going to be really hard to do this if your elbow is low. So I'm going to grab in my opponent's bicep, right below my opponent's bicep, and my elbow is going to be high. And same thing. It's really important that you're always looking away. You can't pass this arm through your own head, so you have to look away. Elbow high, I'm grabbing below my opponent's bicep, and as I look away, I'm going to pull this through. Right here. So another angle. We're right here, taking this step, hand is starting to go to my opponent's bicep, pull through. And again, we're right here. You can throw some snaps in there. Right there. One more time slow. Collar tie, elbows coming high, taking this step. Boom. And again, any mat returns that you want to hit.